Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady Hooker, and we're going to jump straight into the talk, so we've already called them up. It's Josh.
Yo.
So, there was a successful return at the start of Raw from a certain someone.
Yeah, we got to see the return of Hulkamania back to home where it belongs.
Even if he did mess up a few lines.
Yeah, but he actually played it off quite well when he did goof up.
Which shows how well he still is.
He's still one of the most recognizable names in the world today, even 30 years after he gained his prominence.
I'm not sure, I didn't look at the ratings, but did his return help the ratings?
From what I understand, yes, it did. They went up.
He didn't do much else on the show other than announce that he's going to be the guest host of WrestleMania 30 and plug the network a little bit.
Yeah, which is bringing me to a thought of what they might do at WrestleMania.
I think we all know what you want to happen.
Yeah. Well, there's only one way that they can fix this main event. The question is whether or not they're going to actually fix it or not.
I'm not sure.
It still remains. But the only way they can fix the main event for WrestleMania is by adding Bryan in. And there are a couple of ways that they can go about doing it, as they seem to have gotten the ball rolling on one of them.
The Triple H Bryan.
Yeah, or they can make that as a stipulation that if he wins the match, he gets into the title match.
Fair enough.
Or they could have him beat Hunter at the pay-per-view, and then have Hogan come out and put him in the match.
Okay. Both interesting. Not sure if we'll see either of them, but hey.
Yep.
Up next, we had an Elimination Chamber rematch where Alberto Del Rio beat Batista.
Yeah, you have to be worried about Batista's cardio when he can't even go 10 minutes, and he's expected to have the main event.
Yeah. He needs to be working out a lot more in the ring rather than in the gym sort of thing.
Yeah, because half that promo he cut, he was chewing on air because he couldn't breathe.
But yeah, Orton came out and sort of distracted him, so that's definitely going to be the major feud going in.
Yeah. The question is what role is Orton going to play in this whole thing?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty clear, especially with SmackDown, Batista's not going to be the face.
No, Batista completely flipped on SmackDown.
Yeah. This was their last chance of getting him over as a face, and it flopped just like every other attempt.
Up next, we got an Intercontinental Championship match between Big E and Cesaro, but it did not end in a favorable way.
No, I was looking forward to this match when I found out about it. Cesaro and Big E, I really like both of them. And I think it would be an interesting match if you let them just go at it.
And actually have a match.
Yeah. I also want to see the big swing on it.
Fair enough. But Jack Swagger jumped in the ring and actually locked in the Patriot Lock for some random and completely insane reason.
Yeah, all I can say is that this is obviously leading to some dissension in the Real Americans and possibly the actual breakup.
Yeah. I think over on SmackDown, the Real Americans took on Big E and Mark Henry, and again, there was a lot of tagging yourself in, and...
Yeah, stuff we've started seeing out of the Shield, we're seeing between these two.
So we'll jump back onto Raw. John Cena called out the Wyatt family and, was it blew his knee?
He injured his knee. I'm putting quotation marks around injured.
Yeah.
But they did turn it into a story. But it is definitely something they're going to go forward with him having an injured leg.
Unless he heals as fast as Big Show after the steel chair attack.
Oh, you didn't see the Big Show for 4 weeks.
Yeah, but he came around, walking around, doing nothing. He was on the pre-show panel for this Raw, possibly.
No. That was Booker T and Ric Flair and Alex Riley.
I've seen him in a suit with a microphone on recently.
He came out with Betty White.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll drop that for now. But yeah. So it definitely seems to be leading to Bray Wyatt, John Cena at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get that match. Now, what happens with the rest of the Wyatt family, I have no idea. I've heard a couple of different things. I've heard that they may do like Ambrose and Rollins versus Rowan and Harper and have Reigns go off and do something on his own. But honestly, there's so many question marks that you have no idea who's doing what.
True. Up next, we got a match between Christian and Sheamus.
Boy, for a match we're supposed to get at WrestleMania, it sounds like we're going to see this a lot going forward.
Yeah.
And I don't think the crowd is going to be very happy at any time they lock up.
No, it seems like a little bit of a boring feud with nothing behind it.
I mean, they're building it up nicely. It's just the crowd is not going to accept it. And I have no idea what the payoff will be for this because Sheamus is winning and winning and winning.
Maybe Christian comes back, wins at WrestleMania, moves himself into the title picture.
Maybe, or maybe Christian loses and retires, and loses in 21 seconds and quits like JBL.
You never know what's happening with these guys. Well, up next, the Authority. We get a flashback. The Authority arrived, and Daniel Bryan challenged Triple H. We talked about it a little earlier.
Yeah. I love this little promo here, with Bryan just absolutely bum rushing them. Like, fight me, I want to do it, WrestleMania, fight me, wah!
Yeah, it was fun. But it was an obvious match from what's been leaked everywhere.
Yeah. Once Punk took his ball and went home, that locked it in.
Yeah.
That pretty much locked it in with that Triple H and Bryan were going to face each other.
Okay, so we'll jump into the classic entrance theme of the week. We have sort of an NXT theme after NXT Arrival this week. It's not too classic, but it's Michael McGillicuddy's old theme, the horse he rode in on. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady, Hooker, and Josh. We're going to skip the little Shieldy promo because we're running out of time. And we'll talk about the Daniel Bryan versus Kane match.
This was a really, really good match between them. They've got great chemistry.
It was essentially a free pay-per-view match.
Yep. And although a lot of people were saying that Reigns and Wyatt were going to steal the show, but after this match, I said that the bar's set too high for them, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
These two are two of the best there is, and they went out and delivered.
Fair enough.
And then Bryan cut another promo on Triple H.
I don't know when we'll finally see Triple H accept it.
I'm going to say probably a couple of weeks from now. Maybe there'll be an accident of some kind where Daniel Bryan goes to hit a running knee on Triple H and accidentally hits Stephanie.
That would be a quick way to get a match.
Yeah.
Up next. Oh, you go.
It's unknown how they're going to actually do the accepting. That's one of the things that are intriguing about this.
Okay. Up next, Summer Rae took on Emma.
We got to see Emma's in-ring debut, and we got to see the Emma Lock. The Emma Lock is awesome.
It is awesome, but her music isn't.
Well, it is what her music would make more sense if they actually included the bubbles that they use in NXT.
There was Bubbles. I saw
There's
Bubbles.
bubbles on her Titantron.
I'm pretty
Not
sure I saw...
but they
I'm
use
going to go
actual
Google it.
bubbles in NXT.
I'm pretty sure I saw a bubble blower. I will Google that in the next song, and we'll get back to you. But up next, the New Age Outlaws got squashed.
Yeah, that is the kindest way to put it. Your tag team champions just got beat in a minute.
Yeah. So that's fun. We'll move on to the next match. Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns.
This was a good match. I don't know why the crowd did not like it. They turned on this match.
You'd think they'd want it the way they've been wanting all of the Wyatt Shield stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it, but it was a great match. It went almost 14 minutes. Of course, it was going to be a slower paced match than most matches because Bray and Reigns are big guys.
Yeah.
But it was a great match.
And then Ambrose does a Jack Swagger.
Yeah, apparently the term is when you cost your tag team partner a match, it's doing the swagger.
Yep. And Ambrose did one of them.
Yeah.
But the main event segment, Brock Lesnar returns, has a contract to fight anyone he wants at WrestleMania, and then his opponent appears.
Gong. This was a great way to end the show. Lesnar was not happy with what he deemed as a constellation prize of this mystery contract, which was actually a brilliant way to do the streak match. The Brain Taker out for it.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting sold on the match, but the second you saw Lesnar, you knew Taker was coming. The whole main event segment was fairly obvious.
Yeah, they just wanted to make it official.
Yeah.
And that was the whole purpose of this. I did like on the stabbing of Lesnar's hand.
Yeah.
That's the second time I've seen a contract signed in blood.
Okay.
The first time also involved The Undertaker.
Yeah, Undertaker's got a good thing with signing contracts in blood. We'll fly over to SmackDown. We've talked about a bit of it already. We already talked about Batista turning heel and the Real Americans defeating Big E and Mark Henry. But to further the Christian Sheamus feud, Alberto Del Rio took on Sheamus.
Yeah, that was a interesting little twist there. It obviously showed that the feud's not over, and we'll have to see where they go from here. But it does feel like they're doing too much too soon with them.
There's still like 4 weeks, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there's almost a month.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the 6th of April.
That sounds about right. So they've got a fair amount of time already. Maybe they'll have to switch it up.
Yeah.
But we saw the in-person non-pay-per-view debut of Alexander Rusev and Lana.
Yeah, he came out, cut a Bulgarian promo, and Lana said Rusev crush. And that's basically what it was.
Then we're done.
Yep.
Dolph Ziggler took on Batista.
And Dolph got beat the living daylights out of him.
Yep. Did anyone think Dolph would win?
I'm polling the studio audience right now, and I'm getting 0.
Did anyone think Dolph would have won even if he was facing a random irrelevant mid-carder?
I got about half the crowd there.
There was no way in hell Ziggler was defeating Batista.
No. Only somebody at the top of the card like Randy Orton or Daniel Bryan could go over Batista right now.
Yeah.
And as we know, Dolph Ziggler is far from that.
A long, long time ago, he was in that main event. for 2 weeks.
And then he got a concussion.
Yeah. Up next, the Wyatt family get confronted by the Shield, and we get another Elimination Chamber rematch on Raw next week.
Yep. But that's actually going to be one of those interesting. It's actually an interesting rematch because the match was so good at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Talking about rematches, it's a perfect segue there. AJ Lee versus Cameron.
Cameron's actually shown a lot of potential lately in her matches with AJ.
Yeah.
But AJ continues to be the longest reigning Divas champion in WWE history.
Until Tamina turns on her.
Which I think is actually now she's the longest reigning total champion as well.
Yes, I believe she surpassed Eve a couple of days ago. Yeah, it was clean this time-ish. Cleaner.
Yeah, because Tamina got thrown out of the arena.
But we'll move on to the main event. 6-man tag, Usos and Bryan, Outlaws and Kane.
Good 6-man tag. Keeps the Usos hot, and we're going to be looking for a future title match for the Usos.
Yeah. Whether they get it at a pay-per-view in combination with some other teams on a Raw, I doubt on a SmackDown.
Yeah. For all we know, it may end up on a main event that may be shown live on the network.
True. But yeah, Daniel Bryan hit Billy Gunn. The Outlaws are starting to look fairly bad in the ring now. I hate to say it.
Yeah, it's time that they give up the titles and mosey their way backstage.
Fair enough. Just after this next song, we're going to start talking about NXT Arrival that aired live on the WWE Network. But to continue our theme, NXT theme, we've got Paige's new theme, the NXT Women's Champion. She debuted it on NXT Arrival. It's called Stars in the Sky. And back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady, Hooker and Josh. We're going to jump into NXT Arrival. It was the first NXT show aired live on the WWE Network and opened up with a match where Cesaro took on Sami Zayn.
Match of the year so far this year.
Everywhere or just NXT?
Everywhere. It was that good. Anybody who can see this match needs to find a way to watch it because it was absolutely insane. Both Cesaro and Zayn just brought it.
I have heard only good things from the Cesaro Zayn. I think that was like their 4th encounter now.
Yeah, it was their 4th encounter. It was a rematch of their 2 out of 3 Falls match, which was arguably could have been the match of the year last year as well.
Okay. So, do you think Sami Zayn has a bright future on the main card?
Yeah, he definitely does. He's definitely one of those guys that has the inside track for making it to the main roster. It'll be up to him to succeed or fail, though.
Okay.
Because though if he can get a generic Mexican luchador from Canada over on the independent level, I think he might be able to get over anything they give him.
Possibly. Up next, we got a small little match from Mojo Rawley and CJ Parker.
I really like the character for Mojo Rawley. He's still green in the ring. So, but a lot of people are when they first start off, and so I'm interested in seeing how he progresses. But I really like the character.
What about the Moonchild?
I've said it before. I'll say it again. There are some people that are destined to be the red shirts from Star Trek. He's one of those guys. He's just destined to be a career talent enhancer.
Okay. Up next...
There's nothing wrong with that because, I mean, Coco Beware was that, and he's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
True. The NXT Tag Champs put their titles on the line. The Ascension defeating Too Cool.
It was a really, really good tag team match. Kind of short, but it put the Ascension over, which needed to be done because you didn't need two 40-plus-year-olds as the NXT Tag Team Champions.
No, but we do need them as the WWE Tag Team Champions.
That's a completely different story. But that was another thing. The Tag Team Champions were actually advertised for being there, and they never showed up.
Yeah, okay. Well, up next, the NXT Women's Championship. Paige put her title on the line against Emma.
Divas match of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, in short, it was the Divas match of the year. These two put on a show. Something that no diva currently in the main roster was able to do right now.
Let's just push Paige to the main roster. Problem solved. Push her.
But do you want the WWE creative to get their hands on her? Though? No. That might change a lot of people's opinions.
True.
But Emma and Paige they tore the house down. If it wasn't for the Cesaro-Zayn match, this would have been the match of the night.
Okay. Well, up next we got a real short...
I really loved that Scorpion crosslock submission on that Paige used as her finisher.
Okay. Up next we got Tyler Breeze taking on Xavier Woods, but it didn't last long before Alexander Rusev crashed the party.
And this was when the NXT stream started having some issues online for the network.
Yeah.
It happened when Tyler Breeze made his entrance. So Tyler Breeze is to blame for crashing the network.
Yep. We'll just leave it up to him.
But it was basically, this match was nothing more than to get Rusev over with the WWE Universe.
A match that was a little bit more than that was a ladder match, the main event of NXT Arrival, where Adrian Neville took on the NXT champion Bo Dallas.
It was kind of fitting to have one person who was in the first ladder match on the pre-show panel, and have the other one who's more famous for ladder matches be the one that hangs the title up.
Yeah.
In case people don't realize, I'm talking about Bret Hart and HBK.
Yeah.
who were in the first WWE ladder match, not HBK and Razor Ramon, as most people think.
Okay.
But this was a really good ladder match. A lot of offense was used with a little bit of ladders and stuff. This match was set up for one purpose: to put Adrian Neville over, to give everybody a sight of what he does well.
I love me that red arrow. Yeah,
that red arrow corkscrew shooting star press is an incredible move. So I'm happy to see that he won the title and he gets moved forward. But now the question is, what happens to Bo Dallas?
He'll probably hang around in the title scene a little bit.
Yeah. It probably would be a good idea maybe to repackage him or something, because I don't really think the heel turn works so well for him. But it was definitely a decent match, and the right decision came out of it.
Yeah, it showcased what NXT has with the future of WWE.
And it didn't even show half the talent.
Yeah.
The show didn't even show half the talent that's down there.
Okay, well, it's been great talking to you, Josh.
It's been great being on again.
That's pretty much all that we've got time for. We got our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, or our website, wrestlingroundup.host22.com, wrestlingroundup.host22.com, and I'll see you next week.